soap.
Notion soap.
Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Dirty folks.
Okay,
Notion
take
soap.
mission statement. Notion soap.
Welcome to the Dirty
Yeah.
Folks
We better take
podcast.
one.
I am Dirty
Take a
Folks.
mission statement. Here we go.
Dirty
Everybody,
Dirty folks.
We're gonna come back to that. That's my new outro. I pushed the wrong thing. Welcome to the Dirty Folks podcast. I am Dirty Folks. And somebody sent me this on Facebook. And I read it and I immediately uh defended the guys. But before I do, let me read it out to you so that we can share it together and get a full understanding of how I ended up going down this rabbit hole. So, Eartha Kitt on marrying a white dude. The interviewer asks, do you face a lot of resentment because you were married to a white man? Eartha says, oh, yes. It caused resentment. I was married to Bill McDonald in 1960. People would say, why didn't you marry a black man? I would reply, because all the white girls had them. The men I wanted to be with, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, they're predominantly white women. I'm talking about the 50s. When Harry Belafonte picks me out of his bed in Philadelphia and says, I don't want you to take me seriously because no black woman can do anything for me, I could not help him to progress to where he was going to go. A black woman will hold a black man back. That's what he told me. If I wanted to marry a black man, then there wasn't one because the white girls had him. Okay, guys. So immediately, let's break that. Let's break that one down real quick. Okay, so here's what she's saying. First of all, let's understand who Eartha Kitt is. Before she was Catwoman, that's how I was introduced to her watching the old Batman sitcom, and she was Catwoman. Before she was Catwoman, Eartha Kitt apparently had a career, right? She was a singer, she was an actress, whatever the case may be. God bless her. But before all that, she was a busser. She was a prostitute. She was a hooker, right? Now, let's take nothing she says at face value. Nothing. Because all toddlers do is lie and eat hot corn chips. That's all they do. So this is what she's telling you. She's telling you that she married a white man because she couldn't get a black man. But the black men that she wanted were the highest of the high profile black men. She wanted the black man that literally every woman on earth wanted, right? Well, not every woman, but every black woman on earth. They was like, oh my God, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier. Man, no pause, no homo. But there was some fine ass dudes in their day, bro. They was they days Boris Cujo or Tyson Beckford, but they was ill niggas. Successful. Um, the contracts wasn't right, but they looked rich because everything about the minstrel class is the look. You want the top of the top, but then you marry some off-brand white boy, but you want the top of the top, and the niggas say, if I can't have the top of the top, that's why I didn't marry a black man, because Lord knows ain't no other black men available except the top three black men of the day in the minstrel class. Okay, so let's take that one off the top. And I don't have a problem with McDonald, the guy that she married, but we'll get into that. I'll show you guys who he is in a second. Not a bad guy, but I'll show you who he is in a second. The next thing she said was, um, if she wanted a black guy in that time, all the white guys, all the white women had him. And she said this was in the 1950s. Okay, cool. Not true, but I want to skip over that because I just want you to concentrate on the 1950s, right? I'm going to tell you why that's important in a minute. So then she said that Harry Belafonte kicked her out the bed in Philadelphia. Apparently, all the players was in Philadelphia because that's where Bill Cosby from. Okay, kicked her out the bed in Philadelphia and said, "Yo, I can't be with you. Ain't nothing a black woman can do for me that a white woman can." First of all, that's cap. There is no man that just get out the pussy be like, yeah, but unless you're a prostitute, which she was, but she act like she was an actress then she was a high class woman. There is no man that hop fresh out the pussy, coochie juice still on his ball sack, and be like, so there ain't shit you can do for me. Normally be like dudes be like, yo, get the hot rag, cause you make me a sandwich. Or you want me to call you a cab? Because it wasn't an Uber back then. You want me to call you a cab? No guy gets out the pussy was like, yeah, bitch, you can't do shit for me. That's cap. But in addition to that, she started off saying all the white girls had the, the already married to the black guys, which means when she hopped out the bed with Harry Belafonte, he was a married man. So what the fuck? She thought she was gonna fuck this nigga and he was gonna leave his wife for her? Toxic all the way through. Toddlers are forever toxic. Never believe these bitches. But these are the motherfuckers that raise y'all. So y'all whole understanding on what black history is and the black struggle is comes from a bunch of women. Then all they do is lie and eat hot cheese doodles, nigga. Look. Okay. So, but this is how the rabbit hole starts. So I said to myself, I said, yo, I asked my man, say, yo, ain't Harry Belafonte dead? He's like, no, he alive, but she dead. I'm like, yeah, she is dead. So when did she do this interview? So I looked it up. So this is how the rabbit hole started. So I looked up the interview. The interview came from a magazine, a blog part called Black Girls with Long Hair. That's cap. Um, and it was posted November 9th, 2015. Here's the issue with that. Eartha Kitt died uh in where is it? And December 25th, on Christmas, December 25th, 2008. You guys can't see it. I'll make it a little bigger. Eartha Kitt died 2008. So they're posting our words in 2015. This article is from November 9th, 2015, where they're quoting Eartha Kitt saying that, man, she slept with Harry Belafonte and uh and Sidney Poitier, right? That's who she's putting on blast, right? Now here's the thing. Eartha Kitt and Bill McDonald. So Eartha Kitt, when she got married, and it had some white guy, as far as white guys go, uh, he was an associate of a real estate investment company. That means he was like a loan officer. He was a lower level um white guy. She wants the top of the top of the black guys, the Harry Belafontes, the Bill Cosbys, the Sidney Poitiers. But when she gets a white guy, an associate of a real estate investment company. That is a loan officer. That is a loan originator. That is okay. But she's saying that all the black guys were taken by white women. But when she gets a white guy, you know what? Never mind. Don't worry about it. Got married in 1960, divorced in 1965. So even when she got a white man, she couldn't make it the 7 year cycle, right? Now, here's the thing that I saw from this that I thought was interesting. So this is how the rabbit hole began. So Eartha Kitt's life was scarred by her failure to learn the identity of her white father. Right? So now Eartha Kitt has a white father. I need you to understand this. This is the same chick complaining about black guys in the 1950s had white wives. And yet and still, she was born by a white father. Once again, let's go here. She was born in 1927, January 17th, 1927, which means her mother was sleeping with white guys in 1926, in the heart of the Great Depression. She was a $40 baby, right? Now, I need y'all to understand this. Her mom had her in 1927 by a white man. They keep telling you how all these white men are raping the black women, but I told y'all before, and I might put the link in the comments, that man, that the reason y'all have marriage licenses to this day is because so many black women tried to marry white men when slavery was over, that white women was like, y'all got to put a stop to it. And that's what made interracial marriage illegal. Black women going for white men. Not only that, but according to the law, Harry Belafonte, who married his first wife in 1948, from 1948 to 57. So she said the 1950s, gentlemen. You heard that, right? She said she slept with him in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the 1950s. But he been married to Margaret Belafonte since 1948. A mighty fine white woman. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at her picture. Just so y'all know, because by this, it looks a little small. You know what I'm saying? Mighty fine white woman, right? Actually, nah. That ain't even no white woman. His first wife was black. She was light skinned as shit. She biracial. She definitely biracial. If she not white, she definitely biracial. Um, but now I'm looking at this picture, she got older and got a little darker. But she definitely biracial. Definitely. So she light bright close to white. That was his first wife. So she was sleeping, she talking all that shit about being with white girls, but look, she dipping, right? Then he got married again to Julie Robinson, who was definitely white in 1957, right? Definitely white, right? So you went from a biracial to a full white. Whole time she's still busting everybody because busts are gonna bust, right? But this is what I want to say about this: that Loving versus Virginia, that made it legal to marry interracially, happened in 1967. Can we get the year? There it is, June 12th, 1967. So what they're trying to tell you is that these black chicks weren't trying to go for white guys because she was already with them, right? They had to sue to get married, so they were already together. They're trying to tell you that these black chicks weren't going for white guys the whole time, and that interracial dating wasn't happening. So a lot of the racial tension that they talking about is based on that. So we're talking about a girl who was raised by a single mother during the Great Depression of all times, who was sold out by her mother to sell that cooter, or maybe she sold her own cooter in order to get something to eat, right? Because everybody like tacos. And while all this is going on, I saw the full article earlier. Now they won't let me see it, but I saw the full article earlier. They were talking about the whole debacle. Um, and what I want to go to is this is the reason. This is the reason that when I talk to my friends, we don't talk about white supremacy. We talk about if it's a black girl that works in human resources, we know it's going to be a bad day. We talk about if a black girl is in distress in the streets, we keep it moving. Or if we know the guy, we tell the guy, yo, she not worth it. We not trying to save her. And actually, I don't even do that. That's my boy Pierre. He be like, yo, I tell dude it ain't worth it. I'm like, for what? He like, man, cause I'm trying to save him. Cause I know that she ain't nothing and ain't no reason for him to go to jail or die over a nothing girl. So I'm trying to protect him by getting him away from her. And I'm like, yo, bro, you can't do that. Just if she dies, right? Um, but he's still going about the right way though, because if you try to protect her, then she's gonna jump you and the guy gonna jump you. If you try to protect him, at least he'll be a reasonable individual. So if he's gonna try to be a peacemaker, he's going to the right person. But these horrors are horrible. Um, but before I bounce out, man, I just want to do a quick commentary. Why is my shit driving? I just want to do a quick commentary on how Eartha Kitt feels about relationships, so you guys can get a full grasp that toddling never stops. It never ends. It never dies. Toddling is eternal. Toddling is a lifestyle. Toddling is just bigger than Nino Brown. Let's go through it. Okay. Eartha is easily in her 70s in here, talking about uh, how another person feels about her is not for her to decide. It's about who chooses to live with her to decide. She's 70, bro. Ain't nobody coming, bro. Like for real. She can look, you can see it in her face. She looks sad when she thought about it. Like, yo, I killed my beauty, I killed my fame, I killed all opportunities. But she's not reflecting on her. She's thinking about all the guys that got away. Hopefully the string came back. I see it disconnected for a minute. Okay, let's continue with this. So the next thing Eartha says,
But are you willing to compromise within a relationship?
Compromise? What is compromising? Compromising for
compromise. What is compromising? Compromising for who? I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, her inability to compromise. At her age, it's a wrap. But she had that inability early. That's why she was sleeping with married men, trying to take married men instead of cultivating her own relationships. When she had a husband, she couldn't maintain it. This is Tyler 101. This is great grandma. This is this is the civil rights generation, the ones that fought while everybody else fought to get industry. These are the black people that fought just so they could sleep with other people interracially. They didn't want to take over uh they didn't want to take over agriculture, even though they was the slaves and all slavery was agriculture and contract work, right? They didn't want to build houses and do farming, right? And get paid for what they already had the skill set to do and pass it to their kids. They didn't want to do that. They told y'all to go to college. They didn't all they wanted to do was sleep with white people. That's it. They didn't want to create an infrastructure. They didn't want to create a system. They didn't want to own the industry. The industries that black people were supposed to own now are owned by the Mexicans. They didn't want it because they're dealing with these chicks. She had the nerve to say, because all the good black men are with white women. Fuck yeah, y'all is horrible.
what? Compromising for what reason? To compromise? For what? To compromise. What is compromise?
Okay, I want to say something else about this real quick. Okay, and I've told this story before, but I'm gonna tell it again today. Once upon a time, I spoke to two rich men, right? I was in my early 20s. I'm talking like 21, 22. One of the guys, both of them were eight-figure dudes. What's going on with my thing? Okay, both of them were eight-figure dudes. One was an eight-figure drug dealer. The other was an eight-figure real estate mogul. Didn't know each other, different life paths, lived in different cities. One in Chicago, one in Detroit. Had different wives. One was married to a black girl. The dope dealer was married to a black girl. The real estate investor was married to a white woman. Two totally different people, different educational paths, different ways to wealth. They both told me the same thing. I said, man, what's the key to success? Both of them on separate days told me the same thing. They both said, stick with the people who got you there. And they both said, make every situation a win-win situation. It's okay if you at the table and you don't get everything that you want. As long as you can get 80%, 85% of what you want, leave some haggle room, leave some room for negotiation. If both of y'all can walk away from the table feeling like you weren't being used, then it was a win-win situation. It wasn't 100-100, but it was a win-win situation. That takes compromise, the negotiation, the wiggle room. That's compromise. Men compromise. Successful men compromise. Failures of men deflect and they defend toddlers, and toddlers Don't compromise. You're compromising for toddlers. That's how they get ahead because they use you, and then after they take everything that they can extract from you, they forget about you, put their name on and say, "I ain't look at me," and they do hypergamy through the career path as well, right? Girls don't know how to do shit. Only thing girls know is what a man tell them. But they'll put themselves in that position because they don't compromise, but you do. So don't negotiate with terrorists. Compromise with your tribesmen. Okay, but let's go back to this.
If a man came into your life, wouldn't you want to compromise?
Stupid.
Wow.
A man comes into my life and I have to compromise? You must think about that one again. A man comes into my life and you have to compromise for what? For what? For what? A relationship is a relationship that has to be earned, not to compromise for.
She old as shit, coochie dried up, kids abandoned her, looking just like the cocaine caught up, and she says a relationship has to be earned. And even if I agree with that premise of earning a relationship, you still have to compromise within that relationship. That's part of the earning process. I'm not a send-off nigga. I'm not gonna do everything my friends want to do just because we have a friendship. Because friendships are relationships. The relations between your siblings and your family are relationships. Your coworkers are a relationship. Your lover is a relationship. You have business relationships. And in all those relationships, somebody has to capitulate. One day is your day, the next day may not be. Sh- I don't even think she capping. I think she really believes this, and this is what they teach their daughters and granddaughters. That's why black women are horrible. So I keep telling people, man, I can't fuck with nobody who had a black mother. They could be black, they could be orphans raised by a white family, they could be biracial, had a black dad, white mom, but they cannot have a black mother. These This is horrible.
And I love relationships. I think they're fantastic. They're wonderful. I think they're great. I think there's nothing in the world more beautiful than falling in love. But falling in love for the right reasons. Falling in love for the right purpose. Falling in love. Falling in love. When you fall in love, what is there to compromise about?
Isn't love a union between two people? Or does Eartha fall in love with herself?
I think if you were to think about it in terms of analyzing, yes, I fall in love with myself and I want someone to share it with me.
Pause. She says, I'm in love with myself. And then somebody has to love me like I love myself. No, that is self love. How will somebody love you like you love you? How does that even work? That makes no sense. But the shit that these toddlers say make no sense. It's nonsense. Sense of no. No sense. These are the people who raise you. And when I say that, I mean that in the most literal way. When I listen to guys, I've been listening to guys my whole life talk about I didn't have a dad, so I looked at that Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show and said, I wish I had a dad like that, or I wish I had a dad like Will Smith, or I wish I had a dad like XYZ. People look at the minstrel class and say, man, I wish that I could have some semblance of them. I wish I could have a Uncle Phil. So these are the women. I don't care if they have a mother. These are the women they look up to. These are the women their mothers look up to. These horrible people. And they normalize this. When you talk about black culture, knowing that blacks are a matriarchy, this is what you oh my God. But let's finish this out.
I want someone to share me with me.
At 70. She's still looking for teenage love at 70.
Has that happened?
Bye, Waylon! Bye! Many times. In many ways.
Okay, that's the end of that. I want to end this video with that. And in a last word. He asked her, "Has anybody loved you like you loved you?" And she said, "Many times, in many ways." I need you to understand what that really, really means, my G's. What that really means is women don't have the ability or the capacity to love. They just don't. All they can do is reflect, project, or weaponize men's love, right? And they can only love one thing at a time. I almost want to say one person at a time, but that's a lot of credit. She got to be a special person to love one person at a time. She loves one thing at a time, right? So it could be a dog, a cat, or a person. It could be anything, but one thing at it could be a child, son, husband, one thing at a time. If she has a son husband, she loves her son husband. If she finds a man that can penetrate her and loves him, she'll stop loving the son husband. Look at Baby Boy. Look at Boys in the Hood, how the mom treated Doughboy. Look at the movie Crash, how the mom treated what's my man name? Great actor too. Dude that played Rhodey on Iron Man. Just look at it. Women can only love one thing at a time. If she loves you, she'll love your kids because the kids are an extension of you. Not because she loves the kids, but because the kids are an extension of you. If you the stepdad and she loves her kids, then she'll love you for providing for her. She'll love your provision, but she won't love you. She'll love your provision, though. She won't leave you. Well, he's a good man. He pays all the bills. She loves what you do for her, but she won't love you because what she loves is scatterbrain. Girls don't love, so they love everything like they want everything, but they only love it one at a time. You understand what I'm saying? On the last note, man, what I wanted to explain to y'all is what I explained to y'all. The toddler's gonna toddle. Um, and they forever toddlers. They never mature. They don't hit menopause or somehow get some type of epiphany. They're never sensible. Who they are when they lose their virginity is who they always will be. And shout out to Hondo Solomon for that one. I said they never mature past 16. He rebuked, his rebuttal was they never mature past whatever age they were when they popped their cherry. And I had to think about it and say, bro, I think you're right. So, if she started smashing dudes at 12 years old, she'll have the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old. I don't care how many degrees or nothing she gets. If it just is what it is. So now that we established they forever toddlers, as I always try to explain to you guys, you have to train your toddlers. Toddlerize your courses. The link is in the description, man. I just want to touch on this because Eartha Kitt was a. Anyway, love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack, tribe up, take the courses. And check out my new outro, by the way. My new outro.
Okay, anybody ever seen a mission statement before? Here, everybody take one. Take a mission statement. Here we go. One for everybody. You want to slow down? All right. Okay, now. Who wants to be the first one to read the first sentence on the mission statement? Okay, how about you?
I don't read yet.